Alrighty then. Hello, my friends. How are you from? It's been quite a while since I've done a regular episode, so I figured I'd just maybe take a little bit of a break, and by little bit of a break, I mean just a 1 day break from streaming, because I've been streaming now non-stop every single day for the past 3 weeks. And for those of you who have missed the streams, you can go to my channel's live section, and all of the previous streams are going to be saved there as VODs. So, yeah, I guess today I want to show you guys just what kind of stage Halo is, considering it has been nerfed to the ground over the past previous patches. But a part of me still believes that the Allosaurus still holds somewhat, still can somewhat hold its own weight in a fight. Now, just to give you a quick rundown of what we're dealing with, the Allosaurus comes at the same combat weight as the Pycnon and the Dasp at 3500 combat weight, but has 700 HP. So it has more HP than both of the mentioned dinosaurs, which makes it quite tankier. Now, the problem is that it is, I guess, the movement speed of the Allosaurus is only 1000, which is slower than both the Pycno and the Dasp. However, it has the exact same stamina as Dasp, with a slightly, very, very slightly, like about 8% better stamina recovery, actually, but worse trot speed. Which, in my opinion, I would rather prefer better trot speed than increased stamina recovery, but that's just me. So, as for the abilities and the build that I'm using on this dinosaur today, I'm running with Hatchet Bite. And the reason why I'm running with Hatchet Bite is simply because I just find it more fun. I find it quite a bit more fun, and every time it hits, it's super satisfying and it deals a lot of damage. Now, for reference, you guys who play Daspletosaurus and are used to using the heavy bite, you know how hard that hits. Well, picture the heavy bite having only 10 less damage, which is like 10% less damage, but doing a whopping 0.45 bleed on top of it. And in order to understand what 0.45 bleed means, it basically means that 4 hatchet bites, just like this, will put any dinosaur in the game at maximum bleed. So, hatchet bite hits like a truck, takes stamina to use, quite unfortunately, and has a 4-second cooldown, and is also, I guess, they kind of shadow buffed the animation, because I do remember it took a bit longer to perform. So that's a good thing. This is one of the hardest critters for me right now to defeat, but good thing that my tail attack swings downwards. The red-headed Dynamasuchus and the blue-headed Dynamasuchus. We're just gonna be using our tail here to kite it, why not, instead of taking unnecessary damage, because I do hear some footsteps in the near vicinity. So, and that's it about the hatchet bite. 4-second cooldown with 80 damage and 0.45 bleed. Whereas the normal bite does 60 damage, which is not really that less compared to hatchet, and has only a 1.5-second cooldown. So in terms of raw DPS, the clear winner is, of course, the normal bite. And the claw attack does the same bleed as the hatchet bite, but it does half of the damage, which is 40. But the thing about it is that it has a 3-second cooldown, and it actually deals. Ooh, is that an alpha long enough? So it has a 3-second cooldown and it actually takes no stamina. You know what? Maybe in this video I will just swap out Hatchet Bite and use the regular one. Because in the previous live streams I kind of went and used Hatchet Bite. So maybe this time I will just use a normal bite. Ooh, sand caverns. I did not know I did not discover this. I'm pretty sure I have not discovered many things because I haven't played Allosaurus in quite a while. But after we get this lookout point, we should have enough growth to get to a full adult. And after that, we're gonna go over to the sand caverns home cave, I guess, and swap over to normal bite. And okay, our camera did not get bugged as it usually has a tendency to. Let's see, if we get lucky, we're probably going to encounter dinosaurs and salt flats, which isn't all that uncommon. And it's also quite common to meet Mixpackers. So essentially large groups of players who are going to just gang up on you the moment they get a whiff of your presence. So if that happens, we're just gonna see how we fare against them. The strange thing about this area, Salt Flats, is because more often than not, it's not a hotspot. But there's always multiple dinosaurs roaming the area. It's kind of like a permanent shadow hotspot, if you will. So, regarding Allosaurus, I think it has really nice handling. I don't know if they... I'm pretty sure that they buffed its mobility in terms of turn radius and responsiveness. But it could be worse, I should say. And we are one second away from fully grown. I hope that they fix this bug, because this happens way too often, where I only need an extra second of growth to fully reach full adult. So Allosaurus does feel nice, but when you compare it to larger dinosaurs, such as the Suco is both heavier, much tankier, much stronger, and also I feel handles a bit better, which is a bit counterintuitive because it should be the other way around. There's a lookout point there, and that's gonna enable us to pretty much get to full adult. So that is quite nice. And we can hear the obnoxious Alderon critters screaming their lungs out for no apparent reason. It's just the pathoftitans experience, as we're used to it. Ay. Cannot wait to get into a fight with another player. This is gonna be nice. This is gonna be quite nice. Alright. That took quite a while, but we have enough to get strong legs. So we're just gonna take it in case, but I think long distance runner is way better on Allosaurus because we already suffer from lowered stamina. So having that extra 15% stamina is very crucial for pretty much everything we do. And there you go. Green Hills and Salt Flats just magically popped up as hotspots. Now we have to be very wary. Now I will explain one strategy that I use that helps me survive as a solo player. Is that when you know, nice English, when you know you are approaching a high contested area, such as this one, and you're with a dinosaur that cannot easily get away, such as this one again, what do? You try to approach from an angle where the visibility for you is quite good, where you're able to basically gauge the terrain and see who is in there and what they're doing without them seeing you. Because just in case you see a pack of 7 Pachycephalosauruses and you're like, oh, I don't want to get blundered. And then the only way that doesn't happen to you is if they don't see you. So now we are doing essentially what I'm just describing, and now we can see there's a Hatzegopteryx down there who's taking flight. There's a Layton. Let's see what else we have here. Make sure you look behind you, because there could be a Pachy or a Hatz who's just gonna wing beat you off the cliff and give you a free diving lesson. There's something down there we can hear. I'm not sure what it is doing, but... And this Layton is just resting down there. So we can see pretty much that the coast is clear, more or less. There's not a group of dinosaurs that would hard counter us, especially with larger numbers. We can easily deal with a Layton. We can easily deal with a Hatzegopteryx. Okay, now I'm hearing unidentified footsteps, which sound rather heavy. And it does sound like there's at least 2 sets of footsteps. So in the case where your vision fails, you do have to rely on your hearing. And in this case, I do want to be as inconspicuous as possible. And I realize there's a Rhamphorhynchus hanging onto a T-Rex. And this is a worthy opponent, in my opinion. So we're gonna slowly approach the Rex. I'm not sure why it is running. So now that we're in the open, our cover is pretty much not as important. And we can just easily get close. Now let's bank on the fact that the... And I will explain in a bit what I just did there. Because had I not done what I just did, it would have ended very ugly for me. I think this Rhamphorhynchus does not realize I can just do that. He does not realize I can literally bite through the Rex and end his entire career. Well, one complaint I have about the Allosaurus is that I'm way too big for my size, which leads to me getting hit. We have to use our claw attack a little bit more often. And the Rex is already low HP. We gotta bait his bill attack here. And that is how you solo a T-Rex. And trophies are disabled, just in case you're wondering, due to some update that Alder and I've been doing. So now, pretty much, you saw at one moment there that I said I will explain what I did. Is that the Rexy boy he was trying to turn around and flick me with his charging bite. And what I did was, because he was slowly turning and turning and turning, and I was turning with him. Now, had I panicked and immediately tried to run away, I would have put my hind legs into his mouth, and that would have most definitely have resulted in a bone break. But because let me just friendly these guys. Because I waited, and I waited for the Rex to be in a position where he would kind of try to bite, but he would miss me, and then I would turn around. And then when he was like on a cooldown, when his bite was on a cooldown and he missed, only then could I put my hind legs in front of his mouth and then just slide out of his hitbox. So you have to be very composed in these situations. You absolutely have to not panic. You have to know when to back off. Because if you back off too soon, you might risk your movement, might risk yourself putting yourself in the hitbox of the T-Rex. Because say this is the head right now, you can see the head and the jaws. Right now he cannot hit me, but if I turn to run away this direction, see? My tail and my hind legs get closer to his mouth, as opposed to here. So then we wait like this, we wait, he bites, then we turn around, then we slip out. We don't turn around and slip out without the Rex performing his bite, because then he can just flick us, or he can land the charge bite as we are turning to leave. And that is pretty much a good game, well played for us. So that is and you saw how much damage I was able to deal. The DPS was quite insane. And I should have used my claw attack more often, because I was being too focused on my bite attack, and I guess it wasn't a mistake per se. But I think I would prefer had I done that instead. And you see that I had absolutely almost no trouble at all with my stamina, because I didn't run the hatchet bite build, and none of my attacks consume stamina. And also, on top of all of this, I used my tail attack in order to I pretty much used my tail attack in order to gain that distance by knocking the Rex away. So here we can see two Latents are trying to solo a Packy and an Alberta, and this sort of is a unfair fight for the Latents. But we will see how this unfolds. I kind of want to attack the Latent and the Alberta, and I'm pretty sure I'm able to face tank an Alberta. I mean, these guys were cordial to me when I was on the Rex body, so whether they did that out of courtesy or out of fear, I'm not sure. But let's give them a little bit more space. Let's respect this group fight. Okay, now it's 4 Latents. Now this is very balanced. Now normally a single Latent should most easily be able to deal with a Pachycephalosaurus, and this Latent is rocking my exact colors and pattern. Let's give them some encouragement. Yeah, this Latent has my colors exactly. Now, if this Meg is gonna interfere, isn't he? Of course he is. He's a Meg player, of course. Ooh. But the Meg player, being a Meg player, is not really the brightest cookie of the bunch. So the Megaroni is gonna succumb quite soon if he keeps this up. There you go. Was only a matter of time. Now this Dakarthy here kinda going in is not exactly good. And it seems that they got one late. And there's an Achillobator now in the mix. So the latents have dispersed. And it seems the clear winner is the group with the Packy, but I don't like this hats because he chipped in, so I'm just gonna... He did well by kill. No, you don't. I shouldn't have done that. Oh wow. Ooh, that is one bite. That is one bite of the Packy. Alright, this is on me. This is on me because I allowed the Albertosaurus to perform two, and this Albertosaurus 1,000,000% used Razor Crest right there. That was a bit way too much damage for the counterattack. Now, the issue, I still won the fight against the Alberta, and I almost won the fight against the Packy as well. The Packy, as you saw, was 10% HP judging by the scars. Now, I would have been able to easily back the Packy as well. And what I should have done is the moment the Alberta charged his block attack, I should have simply turned around and flicked him with my tail. Make him miss his Razor Crest, make him unable to heal, and unable to take quarter of our HP in a hit twice, which resulted in half our HP basically getting erased by 2 counterattacks. So even when you must face tank an opponent, you have to face tank it the smart way. And the way I face tanked was not exactly smart. And part of the reason why it wasn't smart is because I just had faith in the fact that the Alberta was not full HP because of the previous fight they had. But nonetheless, this was a very good display. A really good training session, I would say, with the Alberta and the Packy. So, I apologize for that. Now let's quickly just get back up to speed. And there's already a beehive that I can see from here. And we make our way slowly towards Grand Plains because it's not that far away. So my thoughts right now on the Allosaurus, I think it's quite decent. I think for a dinosaur, that was quite loud. So, I think for a dinosaur that pretty much has no TLC, is in dire need of one. I think it's not in as a bad spot as I previously thought. Like, are its combat weight contenders in a better spot than it is? Like Daspletosaurus, like Pycnonemosaurus? Most definitely. In my opinion, they're in a much better spot than the Allo. Simply because they have a wider range of abilities. Wider array of abilities. And they just overall, their stats are more in line with, or should I say their mobility is more in line with their actual size, because Allosaurus is too big for its size, for its combat weight at least. Oh no. And now this is one of the critters that will give you a very hard time if you don't fight it. I'm just gotta keep in range. It's very good that we have a downward swinging tail attack. That is very crucial. Now, once I'm done healing off this toxin and this venom, I will also show you another trick that is very important to maximize your DPS whenever you're face tanking or tail riding anything. And there we go, that is healing quite swiftly. I think the toxin used to take way longer to heal than it is right now. But that won't matter, we don't need to wait for the toxin to go away, because it will just go away as we go, and the healing is actually quite nice. So, you might notice one thing, when you look at my ability icons, when I'm using the bite, what do you notice? As you can see, my claw attack and my bite attack do not share cooldowns. So, you could just spam your bite. 3, 4, 5. Or what you can do is you can interchange them. You can bite, claw, bite, claw, bite. So you can as you can see, when both attacks are off cooldown, we can do 2 attacks faster. So we can do a claw and a bite faster than we can do a bite and a bite. So you can do bite, claw, bite, bite, claw, bite, bite, claw, bite, bite, claw. So every 2 bites, 1 claw. I think that is the magic formula that is gonna net you the best possible DPS with this dinosaur. Now we should find a way down here, and I think we went the wrong way. I'm not sure whether I'm hearing distant footsteps, but I guess we have the highest chances of encountering whatever this dinosaur may be if we just go towards the home cave. And towards the home cave we shall go. So now I'm I'm always conflicted about which build I like most about Allosaurus. Because so far, of the encounters we had, the bite build is just very good in my opinion. And the main attraction of the bite build is that you have significantly more stamina during a fight and after a fight. Because you don't use an ability that takes a huge chunk of your stamina every time you use it, which is Hatchet Bite. So, also the Hatchet Bite build, I quite like it, it's more fun to an extent, like I said at the beginning of the episode. It's more fun to use. It favors a more hit and run playstyle, whereas the bite build favors a more tankier playstyle. Not tankier, but face tanking playstyle. That does not mean that you cannot use the claw attack as a replacement for Hatchet Bite, and also still do a hit and run playstyle, and then do the face tanking when you need to. So, which build is more versatile, I would say the bite build is way more versatile than the hatchet bite build. But the hatchet bite build, I would say, is more, I guess, specialized for dealing with larger dinosaurs. And yes, you could make the argument that fighting the Rex there, I did it just great with the bite attack. That is true. In a solo scenario, the bite attack does just as well against an apex as the hatchet bite, or arguably better. But when it comes to a group setting, and when you're fighting multiple apexes, say you're part of a group, or there's just some randoms attacking, like say two Rexes and a Titan, you will get a more bang for your buck if you land hatchet bites on them, as opposed to just trying to flick them with your bite attack. Because bear in mind, apart from doing higher damage than the claw attack, just higher directed damage, same bleed damage. Another hidden advantage of the hatchet bite is that it has a farther reach, has a much farther reach than the claw attack. So this directly means that you're able to more consistently land those bleed hits on a dinosaur. And it also keeps you more out of harm's way, because you don't need to be as close to hit said dinosaur. And also, you might have noticed when I fought the Rex, I was using the claw attack on its, well, basically what was his hind legs. And more often than not, that's just gonna result in a tail attack hit. Sorry, in a tail hit, essentially. Whereas I have to back off here because this has sent me to the Shadow Realm, I think more than once, being stuck between logs and taking insane fall damage. So because the claw attack is more backwards, in a more backwards position, or in a more further behind position compared to your mouth, it results in the hitbox being a bit farther back, which will most likely is going to hit the tail rather than hitting the hind legs or the torso or the abdomen. Whereas with hatchet bite, you can literally bite over the legs and you can land a clean body shot, which already does more damage than a tail shot. So there's all these little factors that you have to consider. And you also have to just play around with both builds and see what fits you best. To be honest with you, I always find myself switching between both builds just because I like both, and sometimes depending on how I'm in the mood. Maybe I'm in the mood to face tank, I'm gonna get the bite build. Maybe I'm in the mood to just play purely hit and run, watch everything bleed. So I'm gonna pick the hatchet bite build. Maybe I just want a hybrid build and I want to focus on my claw attack, then I take the bite build again. And that's pretty much how the cookie crumbles in this case. So practice makes perfect with this dinosaur, don't get discouraged just because Alderon basically dislikes it to the moon and back. Doesn't mean that it's unplayable. You can easily play the Allosaurus as a solo player, you can be quite successful. And you can most definitely hold your own against other beat tiers and against apexes as well. Let's try to make our way up here, because now we're fully grown and we are quite close to Grand Plains. Now remember, we have to do the strategy about approaching a hotspot properly. But the problem is that with Grand Plains, there's no clear overlook spot you can go to and have a nice vision, nice safe distance from a potential group that might be able to just murk you in seconds. So there's more trees, it is a more densely forested area. So what you have to do is you have to employ camouflage. You have to rely on all of your all of your senses pretty much. So you have to rely on your vision, of course, which is less effective in a dense forest. And you have to rely more on your hearing. And you also have to rely on your camouflage. And by camouflage, I don't just mean, I guess the better word for it would be the stealth, which stealth would also encompass your camouflage. And this is the reason why I always advocate for players to use camo skins as much as possible, because it really does make a difference. And this Dakarthy is quite unwary, drinking water. And we're gonna try to kinda sandwich him while he's drinking. I'm doing this so I can minimize my footsteps and using these reeds as a optic barrier between me and the hats. And now it's time for us to charge. And that's pretty much half of the hats' HP, if not more. And what we did just now was we essentially took this hat completely out of the fight, of any future fights for the next 5 minutes, bare minimum, because now he needs to go and heal for quite a long time. And because Dakarthy it does take a very long time to heal. So despite us not being able to hunt the hats, or well finish the hunt, we made sure that we disabled a potential enemy from attacking us in the future. Or it could have been a potential friend, but we don't know that. We are a solo player, we have to make use of every advantage that is given to us. So now we can kind of semi-use this spot as a little bit of a lookout spot. But you did see me using my crouch alongside having the reeds in front of me, alongside having nice camouflage to get to melee range, and the hats did not notice what hit him up until I delivered at least the second bite. Now we can see, very nice, we spotted a Tyrannotitan in the distance, and also something else, which looks to be a Megalania, but it might also not be a Megalania. I think it's too big to be a Megalania. That's a Sarco, actually. So a Sarcosuchus, and well, he actually sees us. Interesting. That's a good eye on that Titan. Sarcosuchus, a Titan, and Hatzegopterate. Most definitely, and a Deinonychus. Most definitely either part of a group, or they just randoms who are vibing with each other. And there's a Rex in the distance. And this Hatzegopteryx could possibly be the one that I attacked earlier. Let's see the Hatzegopteryx is... It is the one that we attacked, I think. It is the one we attacked. We did use the claw attack a little bit too late though. Oh, Mr. Deinonychus? No, you want this? And Rexy Boy. Get yeeted. Rexy Boy here wants beef. Or he wants to protect his would-be teammates. And this is quite a here we go, bloody Hystrix bugger. And of course the Rex is quite brave to do so when he has a Titan and two other Hatzegopteryx by his side. And I think the Titan is trying to flank us from the right now. And we also have full HP, so... And the Hatzegopteryx is now pretty much 15% HP. The Titan is trying to flank us, but this is not gonna work, because we have way more stamina. We're gonna do something unthinkable. We're just gonna cut through here in the middle of both. We have to turn the tail so he cannot get 3 hits in, because we do not want to boost his stamina regen. There you go, now they give up. That was a mistake. We allowed this guy to get in 3 tail tip hits. Yes, little Deinonychus. What are you gonna do? Gonna try to line up your pounds? Oh, we just have to turn a little bit right when he's trying to pounce, and that's it. And we have another Rex that is most likely with a group with them, and he's gonna attempt to do his little ambush on us, which is clearly not gonna work. At least he is not really doing it. So we can pretty much make these guys angry by literally just eating in front of them, unbothered and unfazed. See, you have to keep your cool. You have to know... When you know the limitations of yourself and your enemy, you do not panic and you just strategically move through in the middle of both apexes that try to flank you. And that's pretty much it. Now, let's see. The social says that there's 99 players. Oh my god. The official servers have never been fuller. So there's no real point really to trying to fight 2 Rexes and a Titan. Because they're just going to out-heal your damage. Spread between, well, across all 3 of them. And... also you will take damage. So you could be a very good player, and I'm not saying it's impossible to get them. It would take a very long time, more Hatzes would show up, and the chances of things going wrong are significantly higher than the chances of the fight staying a 3v1. We can see 2 Hatzes and 2 Sarkos. Let's see what we can do here. Well, there's 2 Thalassos and a Hatz. And an Alberta. Or is it no? That's just a sleeping Krog. Alright. But there's really nothing else here. Sarko took quite a bit of damage there. Yeah, got something to say. Hope you like the bleed. Basically what we're doing here is kind of luring them out of their comfort zone, because they do want to be close to water so they can just get trample damage. Because in case things go wrong for these Sarcos, they will want to be able to retreat to water. And this is something that I do not give them the pleasure of. There we go. We first want to focus on the hats, because as we try to tail ride at this circle, the hats is most definitely gonna be trying to do damage to us. And the hats is rocking Peg Barrage. The hats is now most definitely half HP from this altercation. And we landed a clean shot on the circle. And he bled out midair, or the lasso got him, I'm not sure which. That was a dire mistake he did. We did take quite a bit of damage, but that was worth in the name of clapping the small dinosaur. They tried to mix back gang on us. Ooh, he got headshot there. The flock of the lasses want to attack us. Very interesting. Very interesting. We have to keep the trees. Ooh, it was quite close right there. Another hit. Another clean shot landed. Oh, miss with the last one. There you go. Remember guys, emphasis on keeping your cool. Do not get faced by the laughter. And this guy is pretty much a far away from being sent to the Shadow Realm. And this Hatzegopteryx for some reason has a broken neck. I do wonder how that happened. But this is a clear win for us. It's a beautifully sliced Hatzegopteryx. And this Layton, I thought he was gonna be stupid, but I guess he's not. So I'm just gonna enable recording here because this is way too good for a screenshot. And this is the fool who thought he could take on the Allosaurus on land. So this Layton seems chill so far, but that doesn't mean he won't just turn on us the moment he gets an opportunity. So for now we shall pretend to be friendly to him. Just in case he's gonna be a potential ally, and if he doesn't, if he decides to attack us, we can use our flinch animation to pretty much land bites on him. But if he does indeed become our ally, and then his bounce is going to be invaluable for pretty much grounding these Thalassos. that was quite close. I accidentally hit the Layton there. That was a mistake, but I did a lot of damage to it. Oh, Mr. Thalasso, I know you're low HP. At least the losses are way too overconfident, and it's going to cost them very soon. Yes, Mr. Thalasso. Do you want some? I think that now they've learned to fear us and our power. No longer attempts to do the same tricks he attempted before. And the Layton does indeed seem to be chill towards us, despite us doing that little friendly fire, which was unintentional. It was more reactive because I thought it was just a Sarco or Thalasso. Also, Thalasso's being able to pick up pieces of meat as big as I am able to is quite weird. And there's a Packy here just waiting in the bushes. I'm not sure whether he's just trying to, you know, go straight away from your party. That's not a good thing for you, is it? I mean, what you just did isn't really the smartest move. And we can see him being able to bite us. That is a bit too much damage for us. No. Sandwich him here. Ooh, spicy. But his hubris cost him. But the Lasso got too overconfident, and you guys have to roll back the video and see what I actually did there. And I pretty much curved myself, ran like not in a circle, but like in a curve around the rock. And then I stopped and turned around, and I knew that the Thalassa was gonna try to sidestep me. And when he did that, he ended up in a position between a rock and a hard place. And you saw what happened. So kinda got lured into a really nice bait that he took quite nicely. And that worked out wonders for us. So that was quite nice, in my opinion. And now with a Sarco fight, that was a bit... not exactly what... not exactly what an ideal situation, I should say. Because he was... this is the issue with Allosaurus, is that you have too long of a body. You have too long of a tail for this combat weight, for this tankiness. This is more like pseudo-apex type of body. You know, gatekeeper apex type of body, such as the Suchomimus. And not a mid-tier type of body. It's too big. It's too easy to get hit. And we weren't able to get tail shots on the Sarco, but the Sarco was able to do the same to us. And if I'm not mistaken, the Sarco has armored tail, so it was a losing battle from the beginning with doing the, you know, the turn fight. with the circle. So we had to disengage earlier for the reasons that I just mentioned. And also because the Thalassosaurus was really gonna do damage to us and was gonna finish us off had we not disengaged. So that was it, and now we shall move over to the Wilderness Peak lake, so we can slowly lick our wounds and get into a position so we can prepare for the next episode or stream, whichever it may be. Now, I know that a lot of you miss this 1 hour episode content that I've been doing, like for the longest. And occasionally I will do these episodes, and also depending on what people like to see, what you, my wonderful audience, want to see, I will always try to make the channel about teaching you guys and about what you want. So, for those of you who have missed the live streams are a really nice place that you can just hang around with me and talk with me on the live, ask questions to me while I'm playing the game, and just hang out with other members of the audience. And I usually stream almost daily at around 7, or should I say 7:15 p.m. UTC. So that's when you will find Dakarthy live streaming Path of Titans. And sometimes Wednesdays I do like it to mix it around and stream other games. But yeah. Yeah. I think that a lot of you guys haven't even been getting notifications for the live streams, so I do hope that this video is going to serve you as a reminder to basically tell you that I did not stop making content. I've simply shifted focus lately to live streams, rather than daily 1 hour episodes. And the live streams are usually at least 2 hours long, so I think it benefits you all. And we're almost at the little lakey lake, or should I call it a pond? It's not really a lake, so the Wilderness Peak Pond is the more correct word for it. And I think I've noticed that with your vitals, whichever one is the lowest is going to govern your healing speed. So no matter if your hunger is full, but your water is a quarter, you're only going to heal at quarter efficiency. Now, I might be wrong. This is not a foolproof information that I'm giving you. I might be wrong, but from what I've been noticing, it seems to have been functioning for me that way. So make sure that you always are topped off on both food and water. Especially with dinosaurs that have a really hard time healing, such as the Allosaurus. And let's see if there's maybe a critter here close by that we can... I mean, there's a scorpion, but does... I wonder if it has noxious meat. Let's find out. Oh, it's just an insect. I've never seen this before. This kind of bug model when you pick pieces of meat from an insect. That's very interesting. But yeah, let's... I think I know where I want to log off in order to finish this episode. But yeah, you guys, I really appreciate you watching my content, supporting me. You guys have been really great, and I couldn't be happier to have you as my audience. And I really hope you enjoyed this Allosaurus Masterclass 101. So don't be discouraged, you solo players. You can do it. You just need some patience, you need the correct approach, and you need to listen to Dakarthy, because it benefits you. So please make sure to subscribe to the channel for daily content, whether it be episodes or live streams. Make sure to like, share, and as always, take care of yourselves and see ya later.